Yo, what is good, people? Welcome to another Des Inside podcast, episode 12 coming at you. Cyrus, what's good, brother?
What up, man? August 11th, hump day. Our one pod a week. I still feel slow going at it, but we had to, in order to spice things up, we had to bring, our resident guest here.
Our guy.
In Mr.
Reau.
Mr. Reau.
No.
Rapping with Reau, man. The people might still want another segment, so it might have to come back, man. I've gotten a lot of where's the next rapper? Where's the next comp? I was like, you guys haven't been listening. Des and I have been doing it. We just didn't have featuring Reau there.
I don't think it hits the same though. I think Reau's got to take these, man. Reau, we're just gonna have to start having you on way more than once every 2 months, dude. So yeah, you just found yourself. Yeah, you just found yourself on here a whole lot more, man. What's good, dude?
Nothing much, man. Cyrus, in the vein of your consistent intramural talk, making a return to the court tonight. Been out since February, high ankle sprain. Big vibes from the boy tonight, man. Can't wait. I'm about to be so trash, though.
Love that you brought up an ankle sprain because I realized why my last game was so poor. I have been diagnosed with a shoulder injury. I saw my resident doctor today, and I have to go into physical therapy during this off season.
Yeah.
And so that makes sense why my shot and my free throw was a little bit off. Your right shoulder, that's my shooting side. It's all adding up. Okay, so shout out to my doctor, Reau Gandhi, aka the DC Sports Podcast. Thank you for his recommendation. Now I'll be going to PT. So what's up, Des?
So hey, I think we should switch up the intro. If you notice, I've been using the second intro where you call me a geezer. I think
I love that.
Switch it up right now.
No. Hold on.
Shoulder injury.
No. You don't get to escape. Desi's so old he can't even play in intramural leagues anymore. So that's why he's avoiding injuries. We're not just gonna let you slide with that,
man. No, man. I'm not ready to get in the mix yet. Until my baby girl gets vaccinated, then I'll be in the mix. But I just been training on my own. I was telling Reau earlier, the reason why I was late is because I was getting some shots up. Next time I see you, Cy, it's on site.
Yeah, all right. We'll see, man. I'll beat you with the bum. I'll beat you with the left hand. It's okay.
No, you won't. All right, we got a lot to talk about today.
We do. This is the first episode where Desi made an agenda, so I'm excited.
I know. I think we're at a point now because it was easier when it was the playoffs because we just had content, right? And this point, it's all right, cool. I don't like dead air and I don't like non-engaging topics. So let's just make sure we're organized. I'm the executive producer, essentially. So I'll make sure that our marketing team is up to par with.
I fired our marketing team, by the way. I'm hiring a new guy. The old marketing guy is big, early, a lot of promise. Basically, he was he was a late. He just
came out the gate swinging.
Well, he was a 20th pick in the draft for media because we knew he was a solid college guy and he produced content pretty well. And he came out swinging, but then he hit sophomore plateau and he just fell off the radar. And we had to fire him. Makes
total sense, man.
We're looking at new draft
guy
picks
on the team.
Sounds like Romeo Langford.
That's exactly who our media guy was. It's funny that you mentioned it. Which, by the way, have either of you been watching summer league games?
Highlights, a little bit of highlights. I'm pissed, man. I've been wanting to see. I've been big on Jalen Green just because I thought he was gonna go to Kansas. Wanted to see him, but haven't really got to watch anything except just clips of his first game.
So summer league is a special thing to me. I have this weird, odd relationship where I really love summer league, almost more than some other parts of the season. I know you're giving me a funny face. It's okay. I'll explain. Back in 2010 with my buddy Daniel, after nights of drinking in your 20s or whatever, we wake up and we just put on NBA TV and it was instantly summer league. And I'm pretty sure it was a debut game for an Arizona guy. I can't remember who, but from that moment, we were man, we should just start watching Summer League. And then we started getting really into Summer League, trying to be ahead of the game before Summer League kind of blew up. We used to buy practice jerseys. He still has this dope Phoenix practice jersey that he rocks. So Summer League was our thing. Daniel and I had a special bond with Summer League. And now it's it's its own production. Yesterday's game with Cade versus Jalen was on ESPN. And it felt like a real game. up and coming superstars basically were getting debuted, at least who the league wants them to be. I know you said you saw highlights. Desi, did you get to watch it at all?
I did. The only reason why I've been watching the Lakers. Boy, Mac.
What the hell, dude? For someone who is supposed to hate the Lakers, you can't watch it.
Let me explain why.
All right, fine.
Shout out to my brother Nico right now. So he sent us a couple of the highlights from him, and I was like, "There's no way this cat makes the team." And the fact that he made it, so I've actually been watching him play because he reminds me a lot of my brother. Actually, the way that he does play. But
which brother? You got 4 or 3.
I know, Nico. I'm talking about Nico.
Okay.
But I'm not a summer league fan because it just doesn't seem real to me. You know what? And this is kind of where my officiating PTSD comes from. It just seems like AAU basketball to me, and it's freaking boring.
It is.
You know what I mean, right? So like,
I know what you mean.
I don't have the same love for it that you do.
I take pride in getting to see, like, okay, so we know who the top guys are, and some of them show out, some of them don't. But like, I like the guy that like is fighting for that last spot, like the Alex Caruso, the Mac, whatever. Like, actually, Atlanta's guy that had the game winner the other night against the Pacers.
Sharif.
Thank you, Sharif, man. He's been hooping like
I actually love the pick. Now that I think about it, I actually watched their first game, and I saw half of that one. Jalen Johnson. I'm all in on just throw everyone in the G League for like a year or 2. It'll be fine.
It's not the worst move. But the reason I like it is because like some guys who get drafted high, their game goes to another level because the college game is so different from the NBA with spacing and all that fun stuff. And then there's the guys that you've never heard of that end up making the league and turn into the Giannis Antetokounmpo and Jokic and the unsung heroes of the draft that become, the face of the NBA in a few years. That's like the fun part. Like sometimes you're like for me, I'm like trying to see like, okay, is this guy going to be it? Or like, oh, I like this guy. Maybe I'll keep an eye out for him watching this upcoming season. And then this is another tip for folks who play fantasy. You can get your gems when you play fantasy basketball through watching Summer League. You can steal the guy. This is where you got to start. If you want to be the winner of your franchise, you got to scout early, my friends.
Wait, hold on.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask, do the two of you play fantasy basketball? Because I don't. I play fantasy football, but that's about it. I tried doing baseball and basketball, and it was too gnarly. I was like, no, I'm over this.
So I've played for like 2 franchise leagues for a while. I don't even play fantasy football anymore, which is ironic because like you think fantasy football is easier, but like basketball is kind of you just set and forget though, like because you literally just set it on a Sunday and you're usually good as long as you pay attention to like injuries. That's really the biggest thing. Anyways, Reau, do you play?
I have been. Let me think. I've low-key been playing fantasy sports since like middle school. I think I started playing fantasy football and something like that. I think I started, fantasy football and basketball. I'm pretty sure.
Imagining you're in the NBA is not the same fantasy if that's what you're thinking. We're talking about on I'm talking about on the computer, man, with your friends where you do the electronic.
Yes,
draft.
I'm dead serious.
I'm not talking about MJ in the corner for 3. Not that fancy basketball, man.
I was on desktop on ESPN.com playing fantasy football and like basketball, probably in like middle school, and then basketball just kind of fell off. But I actually really like baseball. I didn't play this year, but
that one is too much.
I love knowing like the non-regional guy that's going on. Yeah. Like when I was in Atlanta, I'd be like, damn, there's somebody playing for the Oakland A's that's going crazy right now. I only know this because of fantasy baseball. Like the year that Mike Trout and Manny Machado came up, literally lost the fantasy league because I was like, I don't think the Trout guy's going to be that good right away. Stupid. Lost the league. Yeah. But like stuff like that in fantasy football, it's a lot. I mean, every year.
It is. And I go to like, I play pick'ems. Pick'ems is a little more fun for me because you don't have to pay attention to all the guys on the roster. And the reason we were talking about fantasy is because we want to scout guys potentially, but going back to the draft, because the draft is, your best guess, if you will. And then you kind of get to see, did your guess of course you have the whole season to see if your guys pan out or not. And then years to come, but initial thoughts come from summer league play. And so far, at least the guys that we heard about in the top 10 or the top 5, like all of them have showed up. Do you guys have any hot takes or any takes for that matter with regards to how you feel about this draft from initial, viewing?
I think so. For me, I like summer league because I like to see like the second and third year guys that make jumps.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can clearly see that he's been working on his game for 2 years and he's finally getting really just a shot to get the ball. I think like Desmond Bane went crazy the other day for the Memphis Grizzlies. Like I knew like he had some moments in like a few of the games down the stretch, but early first round guys, I've just always thought Jalen Johnson was going to be a complete bucket, and it looks like it's panning out pretty well.
It definitely does look that way. Cade definitely looked like the number one pick, like the 1-2. Yeah. The 1-2 definitely. I don't think you could have went wrong with either guy.
The kid, Cam Thomas. That's like the other guy I'm big on, but he does not pass at all.
Who's that? I'm sorry.
Cam Thomas. He plays for the Brooklyn Nets.
Yep.
I saw him at LSU, and I'm like, he has a really advanced offensive game, but he's legit like a black hole. And it showed a lot in summer league. He does not pass the ball. Like it's crazy. I think he was like 3 for 11 for like 6 points at one point in the game.
Pass the ball, man.
Yeah, just fucking move it,
your heat checked and hit, man. Pass the ball.
Hey, but that's how it goes sometimes, man.
Yeah. Reau, I like your take on that too. Now that I'm thinking about it, the times that I have watched, I do like the year 2 guys and to see their development because if you transition like college guys or even just the guys that went to college for a year, now that it's their job, like they are either studying, training, eating, and sleep. That's all that they're doing. And it's nice to see their development. So I do like that take. Let me take back what I said. I don't completely hate summer league. I do like summer league for that reason.
Well, I was about to say, like, it's great that you brought up the second year guys and maybe even some of the third year guys that get to showcase. But because like think about Bol yesterday showed out, man, and maybe he's finally taken the games. I don't know. Something has changed to where he realizes he's not guaranteed to get on the court, and now he's really looking like he wants to get there. Patrick Williams, a guy that we kind of mentioned when we were talking about Chicago and how they did in free agency, he looked phenomenal last night, and he looks like he's going to plug in that 4 spot perfectly, and they can move off of Lauri Markkanen if they want to. Another guy that I was I noticed he's a little older, but he was in summer league was Emmanuel Mudiay. Remember Emmanuel Mudiay and how much promise there was?
Whoa. What a liar. He straight up lied to us.
He definitely finessed us, right?
We're lying to us.
And he's on Portland now. And I mean, I was like, okay, are you like, you should be dropping 30, 40 in these games because you're playing against guys that, are new to the league, and you've been in the league a couple of years, and he didn't really, I don't think he really showcased much. But then on the flip side, you have a guy like Peyton Pritchard, who is showcasing like maybe he's going to play well for the Celtics in their new system, or he's going to get more minutes because he was kind of a surprise of last year. So that's why I think I like summer league, and I am glad that you brought up the second year guys because that definitely makes a lot of sense, a lot of fun. Before we move on, I would like to just highlight some of the Arizona guys. I don't know if they've played, but naturally, we have a fun fandom and being Arizona alumni between Desi and myself. So off the top of my head, I might forget some people, but these are the people I know that are in summer league. Desi, Grant Jarrett, Brandon Rudolph, Kobe Simmons, Kyle Fogg, maybe Brandon Ashley.
Okay, hold on. This is current.
They're in this summer's summer league. Yes, these are guys.
Where's Kobe Simmons at, man? Where's Kobe Simmons at? He's from the crib. I thought he was really gonna do it.
I have no idea. Last I knew, he was playing with Charlotte, and I have no idea. Maybe Memphis.
You're saying some names right now that I'm just like, what the hell?
Well, Brandon Rudolph was a surprise, but I just mentioned it because it was kind of fun. But it actually gets me to my favorite guy before we get off of summer league. We'll give this like a minute. The Jello ball feature. How do you guys come on, give it to me, man. He doesn't even.
I want him to win so bad.
So Reau, are you a Ball family? Like you're friends with the Ball family?
I can't.
Oh yeah, man. I'm just like LeVar, shine in your light. This is everybody. This is literally every father's dream.
It is.
Like shiny your light, yes. I want Jello to make it so bad.
I'm with you. I like his rebrand. He kind of went like, I'm the pure thug of the family. I kind of appreciate the rebrand. Like he did the whole, you know, little bit of dreads or whatever you want to call it, cornrows and kind of longer hair. And he's got full tats. I remember back, like, I don't know why I remember this, but I remember the Ball family was big on no tats. And like that was a thing on their little show that they have. Well, no, Jello was the first to get like this random chess piece that he hid forever. And then finally, like he showed his dad and it was like, no, look, Dad, it's like our family and it's like stuff that means stuff to me. And like he finally accepted it. And then the next thing you know, Lonzo's got every his black memorable person from history on his like left arm or whatever, like in full detail. And then Jello is obviously a different player in Summer League because he's fully inked, and his shot is just ugly, but it does go in. So he has got a really garbage looking shot, though. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know what's up with the Ball family.
All of their shots look completely disgusting. But obviously, with some training and some things like that, and we've seen Lonzo, like his shot is amazing now. It looks beautiful.
I think Jello would be fun for the league. I think he'd be fun for the league. If he goes to Charlotte and he plays with Melo, it's just a fun thing especially Charlotte. They're a fun team. So like, let's add more fun. Like I don't know what would you call them? Are they like Discovery Zone of the league? Like you already have your established childhood places, but like Discovery Zone had a promise. It was coming. And then all of a sudden,
Discovery Zone was the
shit. It was the best, right? And that's like the Melo. I think that's LaMelo. Like he's the peak of Discovery Zone. You add in the ball pit, and ball pits are sketchy. That's Jello. Like you don't know what you're getting in the ball pit. There might be needles. There might be other kids. There might be an adult. Like at Discovery Zone, anything free.
They were like, I'm trying to think. Last year, because like, what were you guys' league pass rankings last year? Because they were top 5.
They were one of my favorite teams to watch.
Yeah, before Melo got suspended.
What I would do
before he broke his
I would watch the Kings and Charlotte were my two like one-off teams. I was like betting on one of them to do well last year during Summer League. Of course, I was like Melo's the more fun team. They got Gordon Hayward. The Kings are it's just like a car accident. You can't turn away. You just want to see what's going on.
They're just on. They're on all the like. The Kings are literally like. They're like the always on thing whenever you go to like a certain restaurant that has a rotating menu. We're like, I know if I go here, like, well, I mean, they have good calamari. It don't even matter what, like, we'll get the calamari.
Yeah. I'll get the calamari. And maybe
I'll them at like 10:30 at night. You like, well, shit, like, I don't even know. Like, why are y'all still on right now? Bro?
Why are you still open?
You're not good.
Yeah, why are you still selling calamari at 10:30 at night?
But I'm hungry, so I'll just eat. That's fine.
Yeah. I'm definitely hungry. All right, let's move on, man. That was fun for Summer League. Team USA, man. Desi, you said they weren't going to get gold. What's up?
You know what? I thought about this, and I thought about this long and hard, and I have a lot of apologies to make.
Okay,
I did because, and this is what I attribute it to. So prior to, I mean, when was it like everyone after it was the Redeem team? Was it 2008?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So up to that point, I had made the same mistake that I made with Jordan, where at the time that Jordan was killing it as a kid, I hated him because he was always winning. I did not like Kobe prior to the Redeem team. And after that point, I became a fan. It's kind of the same thing how I feel right now with KD. I don't like the way that he left Oklahoma. I don't like how he went, obviously, to the Warriors. I just don't like what's coming out in the media of how much of a dickhead he is. But after this, like, okay, the dude is amazing. One of the best players on the planet. I don't know if he surpasses LeBron just yet for me, but he's pretty damn close. So I have a lot of apologies to make. They won the gold. I said they wouldn't. I'm not gonna lie to you. It also kind of felt like when they were playing together, they just needed to mesh a little bit because it was. And I said this earlier in earlier pod.
I'll shoot you some bail. You did say that they did not have the proper time to mesh and. Yeah, you definitely said like the chemistry wasn't there because of obviously.
It's like an AAU team, the best kids in the city. Like just put them together and just let them go play. So
man, I got a lot of. What's this bone to pick you got with AAU? Jeez, sounds like he got left off the AAU team. That's all I'm thinking. Okay,
never.
Anyways. I think it was dope, Des.
I got apologies. But yeah.
I think just to go into the Suns realm real quick, we get 2 gold medalists on our team from this year, which is kind of dope. I think it was cool for a lot of the guys who maybe in other years wouldn't ever even get invited to get a gold, and in this year, they're there. I didn't doubt us, but the team looked shakier than others. It wasn't a lock, but I didn't doubt us, and once I saw we were playing France, I actually kind of liked it because I was like, hey, this is your chance to showcase you're not a joke to the rest of the world because you lost that first round. You lost a bunch of preliminary games. Like, go get gold and end whatever potential stories might get written about you. And then we get to see, like, obviously KD be Superman, and me and Reau are a little sad about that because he's kind of taken the torch from our guy, Olympic Melo. I don't know if you know this, but we have different versions of Melo. And Olympic Melo, Melo's number 2. He's not number 1 on my list. I don't know Reau's list for Melo versions, but he's number 2 on my list. Hoodie Melo is my favorite just because.
Wait, what's the full list then?
There's Hoodie Melo, there's Denver Melo, there's Portland Melo, there's Left Off Melo, there's Olympic Melo, there's New York Melo, and then there's Shady Melo.
Yeah, goddamn.
You gotta if you don't. I'm not explaining Shady Melo, but you know what Shady Melo is. Yeah, we're not talking about that.
I think Denver is number 1. I'm probably going with. I think Denver number 1, Hoodie number 2, Olympic number 3, and then we're gonna go New York number 4.
I think that's my. I'm flipped right there with you. But
wait,
anyways,
are we talking about? All right, we're talking about this. I don't care. Are we talking about the dirt that he's done?
Of course. Come on.
Yes.
All right. Well, dude, there's so much out there. I'm wondering which.
Yeah,
there's actually. We're moving on, is what we're saying.
Yeah.
I don't want to move on. I want to talk about this.
There's one more version of Melo, and it's Swingman Melo. That's like what we get to see in these last 4 teams that he's been, or you could call him Carousel Melo. I can't wait to see what the final result is. It's still being developed. That story's written. We'll report back.
I still haven't forgiven James Harden.
No,
that's why that's legit why James can't win. I'm convinced.
I think he got
you made Melo seem like he was the problem. You had to get him up out of Houston. It wasn't on Melo. That was on you, James.
He did it. He did it to Russ and Chris as well. Let's not.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about dickheads? That's a perfect match. KD and James getting together because they're just dickheads, I guess. But I'm not going down that route. I'm not. We're going to dodge that.
Okay. Quick aside on the Olympic piece. Go. One, wasn't really worried about gold happening. To be real,
you say that, but you get mad if we didn't win gold. Yeah.
I'm saying I would have, but like to me, it just looked like a case of when we need to turn it on, we will. I think once the Australia game, I was like, well, even probably.
I mean, we dug a hole in the first half of the Australia game.
Yeah, and it was always like
Nigeria at first, right?
Yeah, but that was honestly I knew they looked like shit, but I knew they were kind of like. You just like BS and going through the motions.
Also, you didn't have 2 starters. You didn't have 2 starters. Like Drew and Booker were in the finals playing. So I think that plays a key, personally.
Yeah.
One of the biggest stories to me about the gold medal game was honestly Rudy Gobert. And it wasn't even about Rudy being on the court. It was nothing he did on the court. It was Rudy sitting on the bench looking like the lady. You know that meme of the lady from Popeyes when the chicken sandwiches popped off?
When she's exhausted.
Or
the Jimmy Butler leaning over the thing.
Yeah, Rudy's sitting on the bench like the lady from Popeyes after they lost. Rudy, you knew damn well you wasn't winning gold, bro. Get out of here. Stop playing. You just being dramatic. Being dramatic, man. You're gonna piss me off. So I'm like, Rudy, get your ass up, man. Go get that silver medal.
I like. Don't get me wrong. I love that you brought that up. One thing I like Luka, but I'm kind of glad he got humbled a little bit, but not even medaling. I think that's kind of cool by Australia to finally get their first medal. I like Luka. Don't get me wrong, but he need a little check. I'm just sorry that the media loves to hype these guys, and I think it's starting to go to his head. He's only like 22, and man, don't get me wrong. He earns it because he balls on the court, but I'm one of the guys that when we highlight players or like we showcase how good they are, we should also be the same people to kind of hold them accountable to a standard, because otherwise they kind of get to enjoy all the positives without any of the negative. It's kind of the, if you will, it's Jordan of the era, because Jordan didn't have social media. He never had to deal with any of the negatives. All we remember are great stuff from Jordan for the most part. And that's because of what he did on the court. asshole off the court, but you don't really hear about it that much because we didn't have social media to showcase it all the time, and we didn't have 24-hour news networks going at it all the time. So different era, different time. We won't go down that road, but I bring it up to say it's funny because these superstars, and I think Rudy's he's not a superstar, but he's definitely an all-star and a known name. But like they have to do so much more for their international teams. And then you're like, well, we're gonna turn it on and still whoop your ass. Like it don't matter what you do. Which is hilarious.
Yeah, man, he's trying to change that narrative right before like COVID actually hit. He's like touching the mic, like, and then he got caught for COVID. I was like, oh my God.
Unfortunately for him, he's never gonna like live that down.
No,
everyone will always look at him some type of way for doing that stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree, Joe? Wouldn't you agree, bro? I think so.
I honestly don't even think people like. I'm not even trying to be like shady or anything. I don't think people think about Rudy Gobert that much to even like just be like, oh, that's the dude that touched the mics around COVID.
I give you that.
Real talk.
That's
until
fine.
You said that just now, I was like, oh, that's
you forgot.
He did kind of like lead to the shutdown of the NBA, but it was never. It was also just like it's so much shit that has happened since then. Like that feels like 2014.
Bro, you know we're like 3.5 months from 2022, and I'm like, I thought we were still in 2020. Like,
dude, those are facts.
Brown, Roy, and I have an ongoing joke that because 2020 like is a pandemic year, it doesn't exist for birthdays. So I'm still actually 30, and he's still 29. No matter like until we get back to kind of normal, then I'll finally age. I'll be 31 whenever that happens. So, I want to bring this up because. For those that don't know, Reau is also a writer on the side. He does some sports writing and great writer. And
make sure we put that bring in the show notes for sure.
We'll send the links in our posts and stuff. If you haven't read his article, feel free to go support our guy and go read his stuff. I definitely shared it on the pod, but Lillard was actually the topic of Reau's writing is Lillard. And Damian Lillard came out to be, he had an abdominal injury to come to find out after the gold medal, which is kind of probably why I understand some things of why he didn't look as proficient at scoring, and he wasn't as aggressive as we're so used to seeing during the season, especially when this team where we really needed a bucket outside of KD, he didn't always have that. And I don't know, that plays into some of the stuff that Reau wrote. So I'll take a break from talking. Reau, please tell us some more of your thoughts about what you wrote. Maybe give us a synopsis for those that didn't get to read it yet, and those that just want to listen to what you have to say.
Please. It was really great.
So I write for it's like a small publication out here called Oregon Sports News. And like basically we have like our own site, but it'll get picked up by like Oregon Live and stuff every now and then. But the article is basically centered around just like an idea around, was Dame just so good that he was so good on the court, it didn't necessarily allow them to tank, I think, when they planned to tank. So it almost led to an inverse of the growth that or almost like taking a step back to grow in the future. Whereas the other side of the coin was, okay, he's just good. So is it on the front office that they failed him? And that's why they're in this predicament. And the timeline of it is kind of basically when LaMarcus Aldridge, remember the team where they had LaMarcus Aldridge, Wesley Matthews, Robin Lopez,
Nick Batum.
Yeah. And that team plateaued in like the semifinals of the Western Conference.
Yeah.
And then from there it was like, okay, all of them left. We're clearly going to rebuild. And they go on to make like the AC.
They got the AC. They knocked Houston in that game, right? The game winner. Or is that the year before? And then they decided to rebuild.
Yeah, so they
one of those years. It was early on in Dame's career.
Yeah. So they had, and it was one specific time where we all know like attracting free agents to Portland is tough, but they had, it was the draft that had like Donovan Mitchell in it. Trying to think. They ended up picking, so they had 2 first-round picks. I think we all know the Blazers always look for either basically a wing. They've been looking for
always
a wing or like a power forward.
Every year they look for a 3-4 forever.
Yeah. So it was that draft with like D Mitch, like Kuzma comes out. And I just remember like, oh yeah, Malik Monk was in that draft. So those are like some I'm just thinking about people winning that draft. And that year they traded up to pick Zach Collins. And then in that same draft, they picked like, I think it was like
so bad.
Because see, they traded up for Zach Collins.
Was Anthony Simmons in that draft with them? Is that the same
I think
one?
he came like a year after.
Okay,
so like they trade up for Zach Collins.
Yeah.
Bam Adebayo right there. That's like think about Bam with that team right now.
With Dame, yeah, and CJ, because CJ's still there.
Yeah, so I'm not even gonna fault you for not picking Donovan Mitchell because I don't think anyone tells the truth. We did not know that D Mitch was gonna be this good.
I thought he was gonna be good. I remember watching him at Louisville, but I didn't think he'd be superstar level this quick.
Yeah.
But anyways.
So they packaged 2 picks to trade up. I can't remember where they traded up from. But I remember specifically they took Caleb Swanigan after that. So it's like you basically took 2 big guys that with their game that they had, low-key didn't transfer over to the NBA.
No,
especially
not at all.
Caleb Swanigan was like, he's the epitome of when I started to learn what good college players were versus pros. Where we all know that like he fills a role at best.
Right.
But after that, it's like you got Josh Hart. You've been looking for like another guard for forever.
Missed.
Kyle Kuzma right there. Like, and to me, that's almost like I always think that's the main draft where the miss happened and more or less put them in the predicament that they're in now. So yeah, it's just almost like a timeline piece that chronicles all their moves of being stagnant and how they just really haven't landed an all-star in forever. It was a little thought that I've had for a while.
It's ironic because the 2 best, quote unquote, best in recent history that they've drafted are both guards, and yet they go away. Like they're not good at drafting forwards, and they're great at drafting guards with CJ and Dame, and yet they missed on Mitchell, and it kind of plays into the fact that pride and skill for Dame kind of are intertwined, if you will. Like he's so good and so prideful that he refuses to let off the gas. No matter, I mean, we saw it this year. We saw it the last year when they were like, I don't know, minus 500. And then they had to win like so many games to get into the bubble. And Dame, time and time again, puts him on his back and earns every single dollar that he makes. But at the same time, it hampers a franchise because getting the 8th spot reduces your ability to pick high in potential lotteries. And you can't rebuild and you can't, if you can't draft, if you can't attract free agents and you can't also land in the lottery, but you also can't win a championship, what
are you doing?
Are you just hello, Pacers of the West? What are you trying to do?
I'm thinking about like that reminds me of this Hubie Brown quote that he said one time when he was broadcasting. Hella random. Bro goes, if you're not on the glass, you're not back on defense, then where the heck are you?
It's such a Hubie Brown-like statement.
It is. You know what's funny? So, Reau, when I read the article, I read your article, and then I saw Charles Barkley's quote about embracing like the conflict earlier in the career when he was talking shit about LeBron having these other people come over.
What a joke.
And so I saw that and I was like, a lot of what Dame is going through, there are some parallels with what pre-Miami LeBron had to go through as well. And then just as I was thinking about that, B-Dot on IG started going in on Charles's take. And he was like, I don't want to hear any more about conflict in his career. Like he's already did that. He had to roll with 5 guys that you're going to meet in a European hostel. Let me tell you the names: Ilgauskas, Pavlovich, Varejao, and then motherfucking Eric Snow. And I was dying.
Prime Eric Snow was cheeks.
Yeah, exactly.
He couldn't even shoot the ball. I remember playing with him in NBA Live, and I picked the Sixers because it's Snow and AI and Mutombo, and you're like, here we go, we're running. And every time teams would double team, like the computer back then, I was 10, so I don't know how to adjust the computer, but the computer tries to double AI. You hit Eric Snow in the 3, and you're like, oh, wide open, clunk, and you're like, no wonder the computer knows that this guy can't shoot. Like, what the hell? So, anyways, all right, so
yeah, there's some parallels with that.
So outside of like free agency, Team USA, some of that stuff, it's kind of lull season, right? So I have a funny, it's not like a questionnaire, a little topic, but Ronnie and I were talking about this, and I bring it up to you too, because right now is the time like before football really gets going, and if you're not into baseball,
time,
and if you're not like if you're a hockey guy, basically if waiting till football season, what do you do at this time, right? Well, typically, a lot of people take advantage of watching shows and catching up on their Netflix, Hulu, whatever, right? So you two probably have your own shows that you watch. You probably have shows that you watch with your lady. How do you feel? What do you do when there's an episode that comes out and you just have to watch it? Or maybe you forget that you two are watching this show together and you watch it without her.
Oh.
Like...
Why is this such a hard question? I literally act like I've never seen it. I lied.
No. He can't.
What? Are you kidding me?
I mean,
accordingly, I act surprised as hell every time. The thing is, I have already transitioned into like being my dad watching TV. I fall asleep all the time. So I go ahead and just cheat and watch the show. And then when she watches it or whatever,
that's when you pick your sleep time.
Yeah, so when I fall asleep and I wake up, I'm like, I already know what's going on.
Oh, okay. I like that strategy. I straight up just say, I take the wrath. I'm like, yo, I already watched it. And then you know what always happens? This is what there's two sides of this coin. When I watch an episode before Alana, she's like, all right, well, I'm not gonna watch that anymore. You can go ahead. That's your show now. And I was like, all right, no problem. Like, not in a mad way. She just like, obviously it was a show that I was more invested in than she was.
That's like the equivalent to I'm fine. Like
it kind of is,
trouble,
but
bro.
Typically she's the one who's like less invested, right? Probably I was more into it because if I am forced or if I'm getting her to watch a show with me, that takes a lot because I'm not the person to sit and watch anything really that often. So that goes to show that she was probably less interested than I was. But if she does it, this woman will finish 4 seasons before you get to the next episode. And then I'm like, oh, you ready to watch the next one? She's like, oh, I'm done with that. And I'm like, what? We just watched it last night. I thought she's like, yeah, well, you fell asleep and it kept going. And
I stayed up because I'm never tired of sleeping.
Did you call in the next day?
No, literally this happened this weekend. All right. So this is not a show that we watched together, but I had to go to bed early because I don't even know what the show is. It's just something on Netflix that she's into.
Perfect. And
so I had to go to bed early. I had to wake up really early this weekend for stuff. And I go to bed like 9:30. I use a face mask, like to blackout or whatever. I go to sleep, all right? I like wake up in the middle of the night to some light. Like, oh man, she probably left the TV on, it's still going or whatever. So I lift the thing up. I look over, it's like 1:30. I look at the TV's gone. I look over, wide awake. Alana's still going through the next episode. I'm like, yo, it's been like 4.5 hours. What are you doing? Why are you still watching this? It's almost 2 a.m. Go to sleep. So, Desi, what do you do?
Dude, I was already trying to brace for you calling me a geezer with this, but I don't give a shit. Dude, having a kid is freaking hard sometimes, man. So to answer your question, we'll be like a full season behind because it'll be recorded and it's like, because we watch like dramas together. So it's like, yo, we're like a season behind. We're going to have to catch up and like, okay, yeah, let's try tonight. And then before you know it, like we're both knocked out. But dude, having a 5-year-old these days is freaking hard, man. So that's the geezer in me. We rarely watch our shows together. In fact, I just rewatch all the shows that I always watch anyway. I'm that type of person.
Oh so
that's basically what I do.
he's watching
things. Things.
I know.
So, bro, all right. I got a follow-up question for you since Desi took the geezer perspective, and we already kind of saw that coming. What if you get caught watching the show without her? Like,
there's no.
Like mid-episode, like, some way. I don't know. I mean, picture this in your mind. It's a fantasy, okay? You got caught watching this damn episode. What happens? How do you respond?
I already know where, like, my line is going to be like, well, I fall asleep every time. So I just figure, like, I might as well get ahead. So, like, when I wake up, we're both on the same episode. It's all about them. It's not even about me. It's never about me.
But what if she gets to the fact that you turned it on without me? What the hell? No. I'm doing this for you.
For you. I hate when like you have to backtrack because I fell asleep for 10 minutes in the middle of the episode. So I just figured like, and then the second time you watch it, you catch something new. You know what I'm saying? So.
Oh gosh. Well played.
Wait, I actually kind of like that. So speaking of lows, wait, what shows is everybody watching right now? Because like I said, I just repeat my shit.
Have you heard of White Lotus? HBO. No. White Lotus on HBO. It's basically about like hotel, and it's like a bunch of. It's really just like, I guess more or less it's a bunch of rich people at this hotel, and it's just random stuff that's happening. That's probably like the main thing I probably say I've been watching.
I've been watching. I just finished The Boys on Amazon Prime. I was way behind, so I had never seen it. Then I caught up. Ted Lasso season 2, amazing on Apple TV Plus. So if you haven't watched that,
episode 3, and it's freaking amazing.
It's a great show, real good, feel good show. If you haven't watched it, 100% tune in. 30-minute episodes makes you actually excited about soccer. I don't know. I'm not sitting here watching shows, so that's not my thing typically. But there are, I'll dabble. I'll watch the big ones that people are into, and eventually I get into. I'm more of like I sit on like Twitch and play video games, and I'm a loser. So,
dude. All right, so this is also just the business owner in me too. The reason why I rewatch shows is because I don't need to like pay attention. I can do shit while I have Always Sunny blaring in the background or something like that. So that's why I usually do it because, I'm gonna be honest with you, I have not played a video game in like fucking 7+ years. Like sat down to play a video game because I'm always like, dude, I got shit to do.
It's a good bonding opportunity with your daughter. You ever thought about that?
All right. Hey,
what's up?
You know what? Maybe that'll just be my Twitch, man. I keep telling people I just need to have her on all my content. It just gets a shit ton of engagement.
Duh, people like kids, and you got a daughter.
Yeah.
You can be girl dad gaming on Twitch. Boom. There you go.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's move on, man. We got music to talk about. We had some albums drop. We had some Donda appearances, and I misspoke last pod. I think I meant to say Kanye and I said Kendrick or something. But anyways, I was talking about Donda. I'm glad you finally caught up, Desi. Sounds like in all aspects of your life, you wait for your recordings and then finally catch up on whenever you wake up, So anyways, so you've seen the Donda.
Anthony sent me the Kendrick song after listening to that pod.
Do you have a take? Do you have a food take before we move on? Please tell me you have a food analogy for that song. Or whatever. Anthony was very adamant about. It's not really a song, man. It's just like a thing or a feature. And I was like, it's a song, dude. Like whatever. What do you have a take?
Yeah, I don't have a take.
Okay, bro, did you hear it?
A little bit more.
I feel like I sent it to him. If I'm thinking about the same song, it's on SoundCloud.
Yeah, the Terra Boba song. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Because I know I texted him specifically about it, and I was like, it felt like I went to another planet listening to it.
Is that a good thing?
Yeah, I guess.
No, I said exactly. It fit verbatim. I said, it feels like I was in outer space. I don't know what else to say about it. It was in a good way. It was in a good way. Because I feel like my facial expression.
Yeah.
My facial expression changed 3 times. So that's a win.
All right, we don't need a food analogy when you go out outer space. You just need
I think that's
moon ice cream or the space ice cream. That's what it was to you. I don't know if I like this, but I'm eating it.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
so
this is also a good time to discuss what's dropping too. Because obviously Spotify will hit you up like, hey, this album just dropped. So I listened to the new Nas album. First 4 songs are bangers. After that, kind of falls apart a little bit, and then the rest kind of like closes it. But damn, man, Eminem's got this thing about jumping on legends' songs and just freaking murdering them.
Yeah, he definitely did it again. To show out. I know exactly what song. I listened to the album. I had the exact same opinion. First, like 4 or 5 songs, I'm in. Then it felt like I forgot the album because it kind of just blurred. And then like the last couple of songs, I was like, oh yeah, I am listening to Nas. Like that's how I describe it. But that Eminem feature. Jeez, man, he is just. Are you sure he's not just typing and reading on like his computer? Like he just got all the words that make sense.
It's just AI. It's just AI.
Like it looked like he got, you know when like hackers like in movies got words that go across. It looks like Eminem raps like a hacker types. Like he's just like I'm like trying to I'm 4 words behind every time. I'm trying to process what just got said. But
that's the best way to put it. 4 words behind is the best way to put it.
He
like,
barred the hell out of that song.
Yeah.
But it's like an overbar though. It's almost an overbar at times. Like he is. It's like I am a. I don't know.
I have a good analogy. I have
Atlanta, so like we got bars in Atlanta, but it's not like that is the root of who I am.
Reau, like, you know what this is? I got a good analogy for you. Eminem is the buff guy that goes in the gym, like jacked, ripped, whatever. Like you show, like people see him, like, damn, that dude's freaking fit, and he's here, and he can lift. And then when he starts lifting, he's also the loudest guy in the gym, and he just goes, and all you hear is like grunt. And every exercise he does, he grunts at 110%. And you're like, dude, we like
go hard.
You didn't have to open your mouth. We could see that you're the jack guy, like, but he got to let you know. And then some.
He kind of reminds me of that person who has the really interesting worldview, and it's kind of I'm trying to just have a conversation about like, hey, you wearing a mask still? And he's went into like a full like breakdown.
He told you the religious background of wearing masks and how that has implications on.
I'm just, hey man, like, just yes or no. Cool.
And you can't get away from the conversation, and you're like trying to back away, and he's actually
and it's low-key interesting, but it's like low-key interesting.
Like I'm learning, but I don't want to learn this much right now.
Bingo.
So you're giving it one of those like,
do you got in all of NBA history, do you have a player comp for Eminem? Who is he? Who would you like?
He is Jamal Crawford. You could have got to that shot in 7 less dribbles. You got to the shot. It looked really dope. Jamal Crawford, without question.
I don't even want to hear Desi's take. We can't even.
No, I don't
match that. Jamal Crawford's the most accurate thing I heard. And he drops 50 at 40 years old or whatever. So
he did a double cross turnaround, and it was a layup. Like
it was a layup.
This is a fast break. Like,
he went behind the back 3 times before he just did a little scoop.
It's interesting though, listening to Nas' album. I do love him and Hit Boy paired up because Hit Boy basically supplements everything that he doesn't do well.
Exactly.
You pick shitty beats sometimes.
All the time.
Yeah.
Like,
but Hit Boy saves it.
He tried it where Kanye produced his. You could tell the chemistry just wasn't right. But similar to what y'all said, like some of the songs, like middle of the album, the beat is so good. I'm just enjoying the music.
As I said, I got lost with.
But that's a good thing. And then I blink and I'm like, oh wait, Nas is trying to talk to me right now. Let me sit let me listen for a little minute.
That's the part I don't go back to listen because I can't remember what I was enjoying. I was just like you said, the beat just got me, and I'm like, okay, like I might throw that on as background music or something, and that might be a background album for song 6 through whatever, but. It's to each their own. Like some people love to sit there and hear the words and don't give a shit about the beat, and that's probably Nas's pocket fan base.
All right, so let me ask you this. I got asked this a long time ago, and it kind of it made me aware of the way that I listen to music. So, are you guys lyrics first, or are you like beat and feel first?
I think it's artist dependent for me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because like let's say if I'm listening to Cole, I kind of I would probably say it's about 30% the beat and more about what he's talking about. But if it's Future, it's
I was just about to say I'm not going into a Future album looking for lyrics, but I want to see what kind of bars Drake or like Kendrick might throw up, or some of the more lyricist guys. But then there's like a good blend of that too. Like Tyler the Creator's a weirdo, so like. I kind of want to hear what he's saying, but I also kind of want to hear what beats he kind of made up because, he does a lot of his own stuff. Kanye's the same way, actually, like because Kanye's is a whole production, and yet he doesn't always say the most. So like each song is kind of its own, and each album kind of has their own like identity. Minus Ye. Ye's just got shit for an identity. But like I guess that's a great transition. Did you finally listen to Donda, Des?
No, I haven't.
Listen is irrelevant. I meant see like the clips from the like. Did you ever hear the song or the soon to be song with Hove that's like gonna come out?
No, I've heard about it. I have not heard it. Obviously, I've watched all the coverage of the listening party and the dude that snuck in and like got like pretty much front row. But yeah, which I think is so fucking weird.
That's crazy.
To be honest, it's crazy that the way that he got in, like it's nuts. It completely went viral. But no, I don't know. What's your guys' take on it?
I haven't really heard. I've seen like clips and stuff. I haven't listened to the full song yet. I'm so unbothered by that shit. Especially just like it's so damn dramatic. It's like, bro, whenever you drop the album,
I'll get to it. Yeah, I'll get to it. I don't have a lot of trust in Kanye anymore because of his last couple projects. You know, that content's not necessarily for me with what he was rapping about. And I won't. We don't need to get into that, but he feels like Greg Oden. Like Greg Oden coming out of college might be. I mean, he's the number one pick. We know that, right? But like, if his knees don't hold up, then he's worthless, and we saw what happened. But if his knees hold up, Greg Oden might go down as one of the best centers that ever played. And right now, Donda he's coming out of Ohio State. Donda's right now coming out of Ohio State for me. That's where I'm at for it. Okay, it could go a lot of ways. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it at that.
Did they lose in championship, or was it the Final Four? Or did they win?
No, they lost.
No, they lost. Yeah, they lost. Wasn't that the Joakim Noah, Taj Gibson?
Horford.
Wait, not Taj. Horford. Not Taj. Sorry, Horford.
Oh, Horford. Yeah,
I forgot who the guards were. Raymond
Corey
Felton.
Brewer.
Is that Felton and Brewer?
No. So they had this guy named. They had this guy named like Torian Green or something like that. That ran point for them. And then they had.
Well, they went back to back. So
they had this white boy who like did not miss.
I know.
I can't remember his name. And then they had Corey Brewer.
I forgot about that white dude, man.
Who's the white dude? Is it Lee?
I can't remember his name.
I
don't think he really hit the league.
No clue what his name is. I have no idea.
Yeah, I do like that. It seems like the Greg.
It's not that important, but that is funny. That
I would agree. I'm unbothered by it. It seems like he's trying to do everything that he can to try to get people to be interested in it. And I'm just at a point with him. I'm like, dude, like, just like you said, Reau, like, yo, hit me up when you're ready. Like, I don't it's like that friend that always flakes on you. And you're like, yo, like, oh, you're coming? Like, okay, cool. Hit me up. Hit me up.
Well, he's the friend who you used to always hang out with. Like in high school and in college, y'all were doing everything all the time together. And then you finally got jobs and grew up, and like maybe you moved. And then he's like, "Yo, let's go on this trip. Let's go on every time you talk, every time you see you." Never books it. Never books a flight.
Yeah.
You know who else is supposed to drop though? Is also obviously Drake is supposed to come hit with an album that is long overdue. Certified Lover Boy was supposed to come out. He feels like another Greg. This feels like another Greg Oden. Like these album drops, like come on, man. This is overdue. I remember I bought or Alana got me like a Christmas gift, and I was so excited because it was like some Certified Lover Boy Nike swag, and it was limited and obviously hard to get or whatever. And you're like, yeah, this is gonna be dope. I'll have this. The album's coming. And you know what she got me? She got me a hoodie. Can I wear a hoodie in August? I mean, I can.
You live in DC, man.
It is sweat. I'm not trying to sweat in a hoodie right now. It's hot outside. It's humid.
It's winter for like 9 months there.
My point is that album should have came out in the winter when I could have enjoyed my hoodie, not when the album. I don't want this album coming out right now when the hoodie's kind of in the back of my closet and I forgot about it, kind of thing. Okay.
Apparently, the weather is irrelevant. You're just mad that you couldn't wear it when you wanted to.
Goddamn right, I'm mad. I got the hat. I got some socks. I got a hoodie. The only thing I've been able to wear is a hat and a bird shit on it the first time I wore it. So I was like, all right. So anyways, he's supposed to drop. Okay.
You know what I've been getting really into? And I'm sure you guys have listened to this podcast before, the Dissect podcast.
They break down the albums.
The albums, right? Like Channel Orange, like when he went over that, like I just blew my mind. But he went over, we've talked about this, Kanye's best album, right? which made a lot of sense. I mean, when these dudes are dropping these albums, it seems like it's a bit more artistic. So with Donda, like I hope that he delivers, but it's just like, all right, dude, hit me up when this drops. I don't really give a shit until then. It's weird, man.
Yeah.
It's just another level of mental health.
You know what did drop though? Bringing it back to basketball. I don't know if either of you know this, but the Malice in the Palace episode from the documentary series. So let's take it back a little bit. And where were you when the Malice in the Palace happened? Okay, this is a historical moment in the NBA, and I need to hear where both of y'all were.
I want to say I was in 8th grade.
It was in 03, I want to say.
It was in 03.
Yeah. Like it was the 03-04 season.
Yes, 03-04 season.
I was in 9th grade 04-05. Yeah. So I saw it live.
Yep. Okay.
It was a Friday night. And I was hyped because it was like, oh shit, like Pistons good. Pacers been good. I think the
Pacers are good.
Yeah. And I was a big I loved Jermaine O'Neal on NBA Live. So I was all in for the game. Yeah. And then I just remember seeing it escalate each time. And the main thing that stuck in my head was Jermaine
the sliding punch. The sliding
punch.
Off
on, bruh. I watched that like 8 times with my mama. She was watching on CNN.
We made it.
Oh man, I watched it live too, man. I remember thinking like, what the hell is going on? And
what is happening?
You see Steven Jackson just in the stands. You're like, where did Steven Jackson come into play? He was on the bench. I don't even think he was on the court at that time. And he was new on the Pacers. So you're like, all right, Steven Jackson riding with the Pacers already. We kind of vibe with that. And obviously, as like growing up, I grew up in Indiana, so naturally I'm just inclined to like not root for Detroit. So when I see that, I'm like, Ben Wallace caused all this, man. Why isn't he getting in trouble? Ben Wallace started the whole thing. He's the one who pushed Ron Artest, and that's why Ron Artest went and laid down on the scorers table. Oh man! So I haven't seen the episode. It did come out, I think, yesterday. Have either of you guys? I'm assuming haven't watched it yet.
No,
I watched Hardbacks last night. Saved it.
Really?
So I'm excited. I'm excited for it, man.
Yeah, There's 3 things that stick out. So where I was. We had just played a football game. I was on the bus ride away from Douglas, Arizona, right on the cusp of Mexico, right? I was on the bus when I heard about it. So
that's the worst trip, by the way. If you're not from Tucson, that is literally the worst trip. Is the Douglas basketball tournaments back home is the worst trip.
And if you beat their ass, like you get rocks thrown at you. You got to wear your helmet to get back on the bus. This is how bad this is. No, so I'm on the bus to ride home, and my dad calls me and he's like, son, when you get home, you got to watch this. And so he's giving me a play-by-play when I'm on the bus. So when I got home, the 2 things that stick out to me was 1, the Steven Jackson haymaker, and the popcorn and beer just like went everywhere. Flying. And then the second one was when Ron Artest is leaving, and I don't know, I got to look back at this, but the dude looked like an essay. He looked like a brown guy. Gets down to the floor, they catch eyes. Dude tries to catch him with one, and then Ron Artest hits him with the 1-2, and I'm like, dude. You got to be a different level of crazy and brave to get on the court
with Ron Artest.
With Ron Artest, look him straight in the eye and be like, "Yeah, let's go," and then just throw. And I'm like, "Yo, there's something about you. Like, I get it. Like, that's dope. And also, you're crazy. So, like,
that Midwest, that winters in the Midwest will probably do that to you. It will stir crazy.
Do that to you.
Got outside.
Yeah. People need to wear their hoodies, man. I don't really know.
So keeping it relevant, man. All right, I got to ask you. You get. Because I gotta play these little games. So Desi first, and then Reau. You get one player off of each team to bring into this era. Who are you taking? One person off of each team, and then if you can't remember, I'll rattle some names off for you on the Pacers. It's got Jamal Tinsley, Reggie Miller, Steven Jackson, Ron Artest, Jermaine O'Neal, and on the other side, just a couple starters or whatever is Ben Wallace, Chauncey Billups, Tayshaun Prince, Rip Hamilton. Rasheed Wallace, just because I think he was also on that team.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. I mean, I gotta go with Reggie, dude.
Okay, that's one from the Pacers. Who you taking from the Detroit? You get to bring one from each.
I think I'm gonna bring. It's a tie between Rip and Tayshaun Prince, man. I'm gonna go with Tayshaun Prince because that dude used to a lot of people down.
Now, What? Hold on. I'm not done. It's a two-part question. I'm not done yet. Now, this is coming to you, Reau, too. Now, place those players on two different teams in today's NBA. So where does Reggie go first, since he was your first pick?
Shoot. Let's see. Who's a facilitating point guard?
It can't be the Suns. You can't say the Suns.
Well, there goes one. Yeah, man. I don't know. I was gonna say the Warriors, but they already got Clay. Shit. Yeah, let's just go with the Lakers. Just throw everyone on there.
Okay, so where does Tayshaun go?
And I can't say the Suns.
No.
Why the hell not?
Just you can't
we
say
need
it.
someone
Just play
to
my game.
Right.
This is my damn game. Damn it.
I'm gonna say PDX, man. I'm gonna say Portland.
Okay, Reau, same question, and you can't have Chauncey or Tayshaun Prince. They're gone. So who do you take?
So,
I mean, sorry, you can't
Reggie?
have Reggie or Tayshaun.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't believe you chose Tay. Man, fuck Tayshaun. He stole.
I'm gonna have to take that soundbite and just use it as text message. Fuck Tayshaun.
I'm going with Rashid.
Okay. And then who's your pacer? And who's your pacer?
I'm going with Captain Jack, man. Jack would be perfect in today's NBA with how he plays, man.
Sorry.
Like Steven Jackson, he'd be a bucket.
All right. Okay. I'm surprised you didn't say Jermaine O'Neal. I am surprised.
I thought about Jermaine, but I had to get outside the box, man. That was too safe. No, I like him so much.
Okay. All right. And now you got to place them as well, and you can't use the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah. I'm putting
or the Lakers or whoever else Desi said.
I'm putting Jack on the Dallas Mavericks.
Yep, I love that.
And then I've got Rasheed.
You got Rasheed Wallace.
Bruh, I'm putting Sheed on the New Orleans Pelicans. He'd go crazy with that team.
You know who I would put him on?
Just playing the 5?
You know where I'd put him?
Where?
Miami Heat at the 4 spot with Point Bam.
Bam at the 5? Shit.
And because he's like a nasty dog and wants to talk. Yeah, you know, he fits with Jimmy real well. And now Kyle Lowry. They're just a mean team.
All right, where are you placing your
suspended at some point?
Facts. What was that, bro?
Which pacer are you placing and where?
Which pacer amongst the rest that are remaining?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, you gave me nothing to work with. Okay. Well, first let me. I'd take Chauncey since he's still remaining, and I will take on the Pacers. I'll take Jermaine O'Neal because I think Jermaine O'Neal's game goes so many places in today's NBA. Where do I place them? All right. If I want to see someone absolutely just crush the NBA and just be unstoppable, I'm putting Jermaine O'Neal on the Nets because they're absolutely unstoppable. Because he could shoot, he could rim run, he could block shots, he could do everything that they don't want KD to do to preserve KD for the offensive end.
It's like you get a souped up version of Blake.
Yeah, except a better shot.
That's what I'm saying. It's a souped up version, and Blake, like even Blake in his prime was not better than Jermaine in his prime.
I agree.
No,
Chauncey Billups. Yeah. Where do I put? You know what? Man, that one's tough because I want to see him go somewhere where he can like contribute and win right away. So I'm gonna have to actually put him in a team that he coached for previously. Actually, no, he didn't coach here. Sorry, not Portland. I know exactly where I'm putting him. He's going to Philly. He needs to toughen up Embiid. He needs to get Ben Simmons to play the 5 on the defensive end so they can keep him. And he needs to run the show and really let him. Big shot Chauncey is exactly what they're missing.
Yeah,
because they used to have it in Jimmy Buckets, and then they let it go. That's so.
All right, can we talk about a third moment in Malice in the Palace?
Please,
the dude in the glasses that was just so excited to see what was happening got grabbed and got laced and had nothing to do with it.
That poor guy, man.
His excitement when he's just like looks over like, oh my God, what's happening? And then you see this big ass dude come at you and he just gets laced and he did nothing.
You want to feel really old, or you want to just to give you some time perspective on Malice in the Palace? Rick Carlisle had hair, and James Jones was on that roster as a player. James Jones, yes, the Suns GM was on that team. Yes. He was supposed to be the next Reggie with his 3-point shooting capabilities. So that's some perspective for you, man. Oof, what a time!
Yeah.
So if you haven't got a chance, as I haven't either, I recommend you watch that episode, and maybe we can bring it back, hear some feedback on it.
Is it a 30 for 30 or where is it?
I don't know. We'll have to look it up. I'm not sure, but
I'm definitely watching that today now.
I thought that was fun. Do you think they were in Caesar salads back then, Desi? I don't.
Nah, man.
They all looked pretty ready for that fight when it broke out. You think their sodium levels were high?
Sodium levels are good, man.
They were playing. They were in the middle of. Can you imagine that, Reau? Being in the middle of a game and just like not an intramural fight, a real fight with like random people that were also there just breaks out. Like, how crazy would that be? So I have a funny story, and I know Reau has one too. So let's get into our funny stories here in a moment. So I used to work.
We're in hour 5.
No problem. For anyone that keeps listening past the hour mark, God bless you, because
let's go.
We know
Cyrus
we need
is still apparently giving away some money or some. He's giving away that hoodie that he's complaining about.
No, that hoodie is not being given away. That is incorrect. We will get someone their favorite team swag under $10. There's the budget. Our marketing budget is very little. We just had to fire a guy. So we just it's coming out of his check. Anyways, so I used to work at a rec center back I think I was when I was 16 to 20 or something like that, right? And I always worked Sundays because that was the day I didn't have school. And I worked pretty much, I knew everyone that came in to play ball. And one day, I remember a group of friends that I knew through high school and I played ball with, they came in to just run some games. And this rec center wasn't the best part of town. So use your imagination of the players that would come in to play, a lot of one-on-one basketball, maybe some lovely language being thrown out at each other, that kind of thing. Anyways,
also, do you want to fight about it?
Yeah, so I'm watching this game because there's nothing else to do. It's Sunday at 3:00 and whatever. I'm watching these guys are getting beat, whatever. I turn for a second, I look back, and I see the ball just getting thrown at someone's head, from behind. The guy's running back to go play defense, gets a ball chucked at his head. Turns around, I'm like, oh, I know that guy. I wonder what he's not. He's usually pretty calm. He runs straight at the other guy and picks him up, form tackles him into a metal bench. And the next thing you see is just blood everywhere. I'm like, oh God, I had to get the other person who's working front desk. I'm like, we got to get this stopped. Blah, blah, blah. So we run in, whatever. Right. It comes to find out that the form tackle caused all the blood because his head hit the bench. The other guy was completely fine. No punches are thrown, except for everyone else that wasn't a part of the squabble. People's friends that were just hanging out, and the other group of friends just started fighting. The players on the court were trying to break it up. I'm like, what the hell? This was the most odd thing I'd ever seen. And I'm just like, man,
I'm not surprised that you were the snitch in this situation as a kid.
Well, not a snitch. Hold on. I worked there. My job is
do that told on people.
What are you talking about? Where did that even go? I said I work there, and I had to just stop the fight from happening. And everybody left before the cops came, anyways, because they got called somehow. I did scouts on her. I did not call nobody because I was in the court trying to break it up. And this is chubby Cyrus didn't really hit the weights still. I'm just trying to move around hey guys, stop, please.
That was flabby.
Yeah, just kind of bouncing in between people, just imagine a little Parks and Rec shirt, just some fat man boobies just bouncing around, just trying to stop people from fighting. So that's the image you get in your head. And so
I don't think I've ever seen that version of you.
Good. That version died. Okay.
He's dead.
So
all right, Reau, you had a funny intramural story. Go.
Man. So I think it was last Thursday. I'm just walking through downtown Portland. And I run into one guy's, both of them were basically my coworkers, but at Nike we have an intramural league. So I run into one guy, again, was one of our old designers. Another guy works on our app team, but he actually hooped in college and he was on our intramural team. So somehow, the last time I saw bro was pre-pandemic, and it was I'm pretty sure we had lost our intramural semifinal to go to the finals. And I'm like, man, when's the last time I saw you? And I'm like, oh man, it was that game. Our team, if I could give you a comparison, his name's Edric, or E as we call him. We were basically, remember that old Bulls team that had Rondo, D-Wade, and Jimmy on it?
Yeah.
When everyone kept saying, like, man, there's not going to be enough space on that court for them to play together. But they would, they were fine.
They made the playoffs.
It hit the playoffs, and it happened. That was how our team was designed. In that comparison, I would say E is probably Jimmy Butler. He's our best player. If it's anyone that's going to get hot from three, it's going to be him, right? But he's also like more of a driver, similar to Jimmy. So we're rapping about the game and shit. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, we were just like really streaking. E, like, you're streaky, but I'm like, I'm going to have my day or I'm not. It's lower than the streak. The level of disgust on his face for me calling him streaky, like, he looked like he was about to steal on me. I'm like, bro, like, I'm not saying you're not nice and you don't shoot, but like, if you're pulling up off the dribble,
you were calling a spade a spade. He just didn't like it.
Even worse, but even the kicker, that was part of it. And then the second half, I said, I try to forget about the game, primarily because it was probably, give or take, like 40% my fault that we lost.
Oh, you didn't want to be subbed out, huh?
I was the sub guy. I was the guy that didn't want to be subbed, man.
Yeah.
All right, so the dude that was subbing me normally, he'll sub, he'll ping between like who he subs. And I don't know what I was tripping that game. I'm pretty sure in the first half, I got to the rim like 6 times, smoked like 4 layups. And
so you're
like this.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm pressing and shit. The dude, Nick, comes in the game. Nick hits like 2 threes, does like his 2K3 celebration for my part.
Oh gosh.
And
y'all
we
are
get to the next day.
Y'all are disgusting.
Nah, Nick, man, if you know Nick, it makes sense why Nick should be doing that.
That's fair.
And we hit the next dead ball. I'm like, I think I should come back in. Like, it's time. This is when I come, knowing damn well, Drew, you playing like shit today. Sit on the bench, dude. Let him finish the game. And I came back in. I vividly remember like 2 turnovers. I know I clanked a wide open 3. And I'm butt naked in the corner. Clank. And into the game, I just had to leave. I was like, that shit was on me, bro.
Oh man,
that was on me. And now that's the last memory I have.
So you would either fit perfectly or terribly on our team, because one, if you're on our team, no one would probably sub you out because there's the no ego squad, and you'd be like, I'm playing just fine, and so nobody would pick you off. Or 2, people are like, man, that guy just never comes out, man. We don't want him here.
My comp for that game, even that situation, I'm 4th quarter Russell Westbrook. You know how Russ would do some shit in the 4th? You are actually like, you are too, not to say like my peak is as high as Russ.
I got it.
Russ, you're too good at basketball to be doing dumb shit.
But he gets he becomes a black hole when it sometimes in those 4th quarters. And I can't wait to see that black hole when they play the Suns and LeBron's like doing the give me the ball, and Russ is like got the blinders on. He doing his trash 1 step under the 3 line and pulling up and clank at the back. You know what? Russ has got some good core strength. Wouldn't you say, Desi? He never short the shot, man. Hey, that's called a callback to one of our first pods. So if you're a long time listener,
That's core.
Strong core, man. A lot of leg lifts.
Yeah, Reau, I don't know, man. If I was on your intramural team, you and I are butting heads. Like, dude, get your ass out right now.
Yeah, Desi will try and dad you on the intramural team.
Normally, I'm consistent though. Like, I'm a slasher. I'm an energy guy. If I get hot from 3, which is like 1 in every 4 games.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
You got any fun ones for us, Desi? I mean, whenever you played back in whatever it was, what era did you get your last intramural game in? Was IBM the last time you played in intramurals?
Yeah, it was, man. I don't like playing the YMCA leagues. Like I said this in an earlier pod too.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I don't, dude. I'm trying to get some work in. I don't want to fight you.
Yeah,
I don't. Like,
so where do you?
but
Okay,
I'm also the type of person that is willing to keep going at you if you're going to keep talking shit.
yeah, but that's like the Abeta family. Like they're all
Yeah,
built the
yeah,
same. Look at it.
It's exactly that. So
Where are
I
you gonna
prefer
play,
playing
Des?
with my brothers. Where am
Where
I
are you
gonna
gonna?
play?
Yeah, no, or like as things open up for you, or whenever you decide to actually get back in, are you gonna play in any leagues, or where are you gonna get your pickup full court games in to get some reps?
There's a couple outside courts that I'll probably start there just to
Okay.
get some reps in.
Yeah.
Man, I haven't found somewhere to go inside. I used to go to this place, but it's like 6 a.m. Like, damn, it's early as hell.
Udall, the 6 a.m. Udall
Yeah,
crew.
that's what I'm saying. The 6 a.m. Udall
Hey,
group.
that's
man.
a good crew, man.
It was actually a good crew too. I remember I
They
did
play good
enjoy that. But now that
basketball.
that's a drive for me too. So I don't know if I'm there yet, but we'll see, man. Hopefully, everyone does what they need to, and this. But that's another pod for another time.
It's true. We're at an hour 15. I think we've hit a lot of our talking points. I think we've had a good time with Reau on it as usual. I know Reau had something for us, so I'll let him give it to us.
With that.
Pause. No homo on that one.
Okay. Who are you guys' NFL teams? This might make this a little bit easier, quicker.
I mean, we know
Desi?
Desi's a Cardinals guy.
I'm a Cardinal fan. Yeah, I'm a Arizona guy through and through.
I'm a retired NFL fan.
He's so sour. They said he's coming back for game 1, man. Quit being a.
Who was your team? Were you a Cards fan?
No, I was an Andrew Luck and a Peyton Manning fan.
Oh,
and one of our members is retired, and the other one had a Hall of Fame career and just got his gold jacket. So,
oh my God,
I think that's a good time to retire as an NFL fan. It's more of a players' league for me this year.
Oh, shut up! All right, Reau, hit us. I gotta pick up Roy from kindergarten.
Right, I want you to take your franchise quarterback, and Des, for you, we're gonna go with D-Hop as your franchise receiver.
Okay.
Shit. I don't know if you want to go with Carson Wentz or you want to go with Jacob Eason.
I'll go Wentz. Sorry, I'll go Wentz.
Okay. And let's go with Quentin Nelson. That's probably your best offensive player. I want you to give them NBA comps. Not who they would play like, but what is their level of skill NBA wise? Why?
In today, guys in today's league, yeah.
So let's say I take Matt Ryan, and I'm like,
Matt Ryan's
a little
Chris
bit
Paul.
past his prime. God,
mine's easy.
I'm sorry, Matt Ryan is Chris Paul.
Bridesmaid, but never the bride. That's Matt.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That one clicked for me. All right, go ahead, Des.
Mine's Ice Trey. That's easy. They went to the same school. They play a lot alike. They're not the biggest. They just rely on straight athleticism. So that's an easy one for me.
D-Hop.
Yeah, who's D-Hop?
Damn.
It's got to be someone that's an ass kicker.
yeah, man.
Because he's a fucking ass kicker. Love that.
Yeah.
And someone who talks trash. I mean, and I know this could be an easy answer. I could give it to you, but I'll let you keep thinking. He could honestly just be Devin Booker. He played in Houston on shit teams, and now he's finally gotten to taste some winning and big trash talker. Not the biggest receiver, but he's definitely one of the better ones. I mean, that's an easy one. There's other guys if you had a better comp for you.
I would probably go with Jimmy Butler. For his amount of times he's played with.
Okay.
You think about the quarterbacks he's played with.
Yeah.
Deshaun and Kyler. Every year it was it
was a carousel.
Regardless of the situation, I'm gonna do
that. That's also why I think could be because of the coaching carousel that he had to deal with. So I like Jimmy though. I like Jimmy.
Yeah, I was gonna say KD at first because of how lethal the dude is, but it doesn't match up with all the hardship he's had to encounter. So yeah, I like the Jimmy Butler take better than my KD takes. I'm gonna bite yours.
Okay, that's fine. So mine, I'll start with Quentin Nelson. I think he's easier, right? Because he's literally considered one of the best linemen in the league. And he's young, and they're literally building the line kind of around him. He's a pretty healthy guy. So he feels to me, he's got to be a juggernaut in the NBA, but hasn't he almost feels like Embiid to me. And not take Embiid's winning out of it, but like if you really think about Embiid could do everything on the floor given his position. He's he's huge. He's pretty much unstoppable, and he doesn't really lose matchups. And that's like Quentin Nelson will pancake you to the ground. He doesn't lose matchups. You can definitely build around him, and he can be a franchise guy with like obviously hopefully a franchise quarterback. So I think that's what that comp would be. This Carson Wentz one is so hard because I've got to think about so many things, right?
Just think about people who have pissed teams off and left.
Were they sad to see him go? I honestly
don't know that Philly fans
would have driven him to
you know who he is? I got it. I'm sorry. Who? He's Paul George.
Really? You're giving him that much praise?
I don't.
What?
Because here, I'll give him that. Hold on. I'll give you that much praise. Why? Because Philly wasn't good, and then he got them to the playoffs, and then when he gets hurt, someone took over it, and like this is the. Let's take the Super Bowl winning out of it because Nick Foles did replace him. Hold on. Oh, there it is. You're right with me. Okay. So he's Paul George because he got Indy to the playoffs without anybody. When everybody left or got hurt or whatever, he still got Indy to the playoffs. And then the next year he wants a trade. And that's basically the Carson Wentz sourness that came about. And he broke his leg. Like there's some similar comps. He gets out, he finds his own way somewhere else, which in this case is Indy, but he gets replaced by a guy who does the exact same thing, but is fan loved for the most part with Nick Foles. Nick Foles didn't replace Carson Wentz. Huge, like people love him there. Honestly, most people still love Oladipo for kind of keeping us on the map. Obviously, they wish he would have stayed, but we understood that he got hurt and all that. But I think that's the comp I'm giving Carson Wentz. I don't think he's at like the same level, but there's so much promise, like when he first was in the league, people thought Carson Wentz was going to be like a top 5 quarterback.
Yeah.
I was actually going to compare him to Boogie Cousins. And I say that because, all right, the trajectory of Carson puts up a lot of numbers early in Philly. Doesn't really transfer to winning, right? Finally gets in a good situation, starts winning in New Orleans, blows out his Achilles, tears his ACL, right? Anthony Davis basically goes on to become an NBA champion.
Big Dick Nick.
And then gets a big contract. Granted, at this point, we cannot compare Anthony Davis to Nick.
Of course.
But for sake of the comparison here. And then every time we're like, oh, maybe Carson, new start or new year, injured again. New situation, injured again. That's like Boogie when he goes to Golden State. Basically and then Boogie goes to LA,
Lakers, Houston. Yeah, they don't want him. So maybe Indy doesn't want because he hurt his foot again. You're right.
Yeah,
not the worst comp either. So
no.
Basically,
all right.
I'm not rooting for the Colts this year. So
yeah, we'll talk about this more because this is also going to become a football podcast too because it's stuff to talk about. All right, so we're at an hour 22. I got to go be a dad, pick up my daughter from kindergarten. As always, for our listeners out there, Cyrus has some dope ass gear for you all. He still has this contest that's going on. Like
nobody's partaking, man. Maybe we need to introduce my contest at the beginning of our pod when people are still listening instead of the end, and then maybe we'll start to get what we want.
You know what it is, man. We need to get our marketing guy to create some call to actions.
Yeah.
Fancy word.
Producer of the pod, we're going to need a little bit more money on the marketing team. No, as always, man. Reau, thank you. Thank you for coming on as usual. We love to have you on. Again, if you haven't checked out Reau's writing, go ahead and check it out.
Put that in the show notes.
Link that in the show notes. And give him a follow on the socials if you haven't. I think his socials tagged on our video. It's the same across the board, but if you don't know, it's Professional. Look him up. We'll tag him on our posts. Desi, thank you for backtracking on Team USA. I love that you had to do that. So I just wanted to end with that.
Love that. Eat crow. Yeah.
Eat crow. No shot clock today. We don't have basketball stuff to shot clock on, and we'll save it for another time. But again, thank you to everyone listening. Like, subscribe, post, whatever you got to do, share it. But until then, I'm out of here. Take us away, Des.
Yeah. Have a great day. Peace.